In this example, we're going to classify a data distribution. So what it's asking us is the distribution symmetric or is it skewed? So we are given this data set, and notice it is not in order, it's not in ascending order. So we need to move it from lowest value to highest value, and I've gone ahead and done that. We're going to take a look at this distribution both graphically and kind of numerically by analyzing the quartiles. We can analyze the difference between the median and the mean, and therefore come to a conclusion about what kind of distribution we are working with. And in order, we need to know the distribution, the type of distribution, so we know, is our measure of center going to be the mean, and our measure of spread standard deviation? That would go with a symmetric distribution. If we had a skewed distribution, we'd want to use our median as the measure of center and the IQR as the measure of spread. So here we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a histogram. If you take a look at these data values, there's quite a range there, and I need to, find a method to arrange my data so it's easy to analyze. So if you have, like in your triads that we did previously, for example, small amount of data values, you can use a dot plot. For this, because of this range, I'm going to go ahead and use a histogram, and I have this broken down, scaled by tens. So let's see, so from 55 to 65, I have one data value. So there it is. Frequency that it occurs is once. From 66 to 75, I just have one. From 76 to 85, I have two. From 86 to 95, I have one. From 96 to 105, I have 96, 97, 98, 99, I have four. From 106 to 115, 1, 2, 3. And then from 116 to 125, I have 3. So when we look at this visually, we can easily see this is skewed left. I've got a clump of my data values are over here to the right, and as we go to the left, they get lower and lower. So this is skewed. It's a skewed distribution. We'll call it skewed left. And that means we would want to use the median and the IQR. Median is your measure of center. IQR is your measure of spread. Let's go ahead. Let's kind of pause. Let's take a look at the mean. I'm just going to do this off to the side, because the mean is what we would use if it were symmetric. Let's go ahead and calculate the mean. The mean, if you add up everything, you'd get 1,456. We have 15 data values. That would give us a mean of 97.1. Now let's see how that compares to what we know we need to use, the median and the IQR. So let's calculate the median. So the median is the middle. If I have 15 data values, and again, don't forget you need to do this process when you're ordered from least to greatest. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, so that means it's going to be my 8th data value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's my median, 98. Now, when you compare your median to your mean, notice there's a difference. If maybe I had a mean of 98.1 or 97.9, leaning more symmetric. But because we are quite a ways away, these are not very similar, this shows me that it's skewed. So now let's also take a look at the quartiles. We're going to calculate the IQR, and then we're going to kind of backtrack and see what we can determine just by looking at the quartiles to determine whether a data set is skewed or symmetric. So quartile 1, that is the median of the first half of the data. I have 7 data values to the left of the median. Half of that is 3.5, so it's going to be my 4th data value, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my quartile 1 is 76. Quartile 3 is the upper half, the median of the upper half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 115. If I calculate the IQR, it's quartile 3 minus quartile 1, so that is 115 minus 76. That gets me an interquartile range of 39. Now let's take a look at our quartiles, comparing kind of the range between each quartile and the median. Because if you remember, actually, let me flip back. Let me see if I can flip back. We did a box and whisker plot. And what is in this box is your IQR. If we would have a symmetric distribution, my whiskers would be about the same size, and this bar, the median, would be in the middle of that IQR of my box here. So that would mean quartile 1 to the middle would be the same distance as the median, the middle, to the quartile 3. So let's take a look at that numerically. So if I go quartile 3 minus the median, that's 115 minus 98, which is 17. So that's the distance from the median to quartile 3. Let's do quartile 1 to the median. So I would take the median minus quartile 1. So that is 98 minus 76, 22. So now notice between 17 and 22, that's quite a significant difference. So this significant difference indicates that this is a skewed distribution. And so now let's go ahead. We've kind of looked at this graphically. If you need to answer the questions when you're asked to classify a data distribution or determine what's the best measure of center or spread, you could do it graphically like we've done. We've done box and whisker plots. We have done dot plots in your try-its, and we've done histograms in the lessons. You could use that method. You could also analyze the data, analyze the measures of centers, analyze your quartiles, and come up with the same answer. So let's kind of just rehash what we determined. For a symmetric distribution, you're going to get your mean is going to equal the median, or at least be really, really close to it, maybe like a tenth, maybe 2/10, but close, very, very close. If we are skewed left, your mean is going to be less than your median. It's kind of like graphically, if you look at it, your mean would be like in kind of almost in the tail of your data, like we have here. Our mean was at 97.5, so it was kind of on the lower end here. Skewed right. And if you are skewed right, your mean would be greater than your median.